Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good day of trading today in the market. The markets were up really good today across the board. We did so today on our stocks. We had a hit on our MSTR. It got pulled back a little bit, but there was some good news for that one. We'll talk about that as we look at our portfolio. Also, Novavax was one of our good ones today. Was holding steady green all day, and then towards the end of the day did pop up. So we'll talk about that as we look at our charts today. But other than that, we did have a decent day as far as the Novavax goes. As far as the portfolio, we were down a little bit today, mainly because of that MSTR. If not for that, we'd probably had a pretty good day. But we'll take a look at it and talk about what we're going to do the rest of the week. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at our portfolio. Hey, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, don't forget to click that subscribe button that's down in the corner there, or at the end of the video. There's going to be a big round button you can click. Appreciate those that have just recently joined. And also, if you like the video, don't forget to click that like button, and appreciate that as well. All right, so let's go over to the portfolio and take a look at that. All right, so here's our portfolio. As you can see here, the markets were green across the board. Dow's up a whole 586 points. So NASDAQ over 100 points up. It was starting out in the red early today. And then S&P was up. So nice day for the market overall. We had some that were green, some that still were red all day. Anything tied to our Bitcoin had a little issues today, but let's go ahead and jump into that and take a look. Hut Mining was one of those that is tied to our Bitcoin. This is a Bitcoin miner. There's some big news today on China and their mining and how they're shutting down some of their miners, which to me, I would have thought that would have gone the other way with it as far as mining companies go, since that just means they're going to be able to mine more without those other miners online. So. But the reason for this today is Bitcoin did drop today over the weekend. It had a pretty good little drop down to about, I think it was around 32,000 now. So that's why we had our Bitcoin affiliated stocks pull back today. But we're fine with this. I mean, it did manage to start coming back up towards the end of the day. As you can see here, the low today was 341 and ended up closing at 358. So did have some recovery, so that's good. And the 5-day chart on that, we do have a downward trend on that, but that's following the Bitcoin. So nothing out of the ordinary there, acting like we expect it to. Oh my goodness! I don't know if you could hear that. There was some thunder. I don't know if you were able to hear that, but we do have some storms going on around here. So let's see here. That was a good one. All right, next on the list is Tesla. Tesla, we did have a sell order in today. Just missed selling it today. We're just trying to put that cash on the sideline. So we had a sell order in at 633, and it got up to 631.33. So it did get up, had a pretty good little climb here, but then it showed off towards the end of the day and went into the red. But it was green in this area here. So, but we were trying to sell that. We would have been up about 2 or 3% on that, and would have had a nice little gain on it. But we're just hanging on to it. I think this one's going to be okay. A real good day. One of those $10 days would be nice. We'll unload it then, but we'll see how it does in the future. But the 5-day chart, you can see here, since that last Wednesday, it's done pretty good. And it's definitely going in the right direction. So we do want to get that cashed out and get some cash on the sideline. Like to start building up that cash position because we are low on cash right now. MSTR is MicroStrategies. They did announce today that they did buy some more Bitcoin. It did go down. This is primarily due to the China news, I would think, and the pullback of Bitcoin itself. But I did check on that and did read up a little bit on that, and they are holding right now. I think it's 105,000 Bitcoin. So that's a lot of Bitcoin. They did recently just purchased 13,000 more. But 105,085 and 85 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin. Their average price on that is $26.08, according to the article I read. And so they're still up on what they're holding. It's at 32, so you can figure about $6,000 times 105,000. So what is that? 630,000 that they're up on it right now. So not a bad little game. Even though they went down today, they're just following the Bitcoin price, and so you can expect anytime that's taking a dip, they're going to take a dip because their company is primarily holding a lot of Bitcoin. Their whole treasury is full of it, and they just keep borrowing more money to get more and more of it. So again, Michael Saylor is the CEO. He's a big time proponent of Bitcoin, so he will continue to buy, I believe, as much as he can until this thing goes up. And his strategy is he's never going to sell it. So we'll see how that goes if it gets up there real high. But it's definitely a play on Bitcoin. If you're buying into that, you're buying Bitcoin practically. But there it is. It's up a little bit in after hours, but not much. But we were having a pretty good little run with that recently, and but today it got clobbered, 9%. U.S. Steel had a little bit of a green day today. We're up pretty good. The Dow was up real good, so U.S. Steel was up as well. Let's take a look at that chart. It actually started the day out pretty strong, then kind of sold off towards the end of the day and was flat from there on. But did have a green day. It had been going down pretty regular here, so this is the first green day it's had in a while. We don't own any of that right now. Was just about ready to get into some of that because that's something I'd probably get into if I get that cash on the sideline. I might buy a little bit of U.S. Steel because it's getting around that price that I like. 20 would be even better. Novavax had a pretty good day. Haven't seen any real news on it yet. It's up a little bit in the after hours as well, it looks like. The high today was 183.98, so I was hoping it would get past that 185 because that's the point it really needs to get past is 185. Did have a pretty good little volume. You can see the volume towards the end of the day as it went up. It was kind of green on and off today, but it did have a couple little runs here, and especially towards the end of the day it really picked up and the volume picked up on it. So you can see the volume is pretty normal here, and then it starts picking up, and of course the price is going up. So this could be anything from shorts covering to people just buying in, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I thought maybe we might get some news this evening of some sort. Maybe that's why it was jumping, but nothing came out that I could see as far as news goes. But one thing I've noticed on Novavax, you'll see a little run up a lot of times in the morning. At the very beginning of the open of the market, you'll see it run up like it did today. Then it has a tendency to pull back, and then right before lunchtime, Eastern time, and that's when I like to call them the big boys go to lunch. They seem like they like to take this thing down, and while they're at lunch and nobody's really controlling it that much and the volume's low, you'll see a lot of times where it will tick up just like it did today. Okay, and then at some point they get back and they start knocking it back down. But today something happened here towards the end of the day, and it did pick up. Anytime you see that volume pick up and it go up like that, that's all good for us. And so we want to see some more of that volume on it tomorrow on the gains, and we're holding a lot of that again. The cash count is almost primarily Novavax right now, so. I did buy a little bit of that MSTR in the cash account today. So that just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. It was nothing to amount to anything. I had a little bit of cash in the cash account, and instead of buying Novavax, I just went ahead and, since MSTR was getting beat up so bad, I went ahead and jumped on that. Probably a little bit too early, but it'll make money once this thing turns around. Anytime you see that thing go down about $60 in a day, it's usually a good time to buy that, and that's what I like to do. Since I had a little bit of cash, I went ahead and did it this time. We're holding it also in the IRAs and both IRAs, so and it's a pretty good position in our IRAs. Okay. All right. So next on the list, SPCE. SPCE did make a little bit of comeback towards the end of the day here. You see the low today got down to today's low was 34.83, and it did fight its way back up to 36. So we'd like to see that the comeback there. 5-day chart on that, it's just all over the place, up and down, and pretty much flat overall for the 5 days. Okay, and that's Virgin Galactic. It's a SPAC, so it hasn't been doing that well. It's probably down a pretty good bit right now. Tilray had a green day. Tilray had gotten where it had started going up a little bit, and last few days it has not. It's been going back down. So I'd like to see that green day today. That was nice to see. So you can see the 5-day chart, a little bit of going down here, and you get down here in 1645, but we did manage to close at up 46 cents today to 1737. The low was 1632, so you're about $1 over the low. So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but we have some serious thunder going on right now. So if you hear a bunch of rumbling in the background, that's what it is. All right, so let's go back and see what else we got here. Next on the list is Nikola. Nikola was down a little bit today. Pretty much acted like Tilray today. It dipped, did not manage to get into the green, but it did have a pretty good comeback towards the end of the day here. Half the volume as normal, so nothing really going on with that one right now. 5-day chart on that one, it's kind of all over the place as well. 1 month chart, you do see we do have a nice little trend up, so I think we have bottomed out on this one finally. It did hit a 52-week low of 937, so it's made a pretty good comeback since then, and we like to see that comeback. But overall, again, a good day in the market, really green across the board. Hopefully we can have a good day starting out tomorrow as well. I'd like to see what's going on with this Novavax, see if we can follow up tomorrow. That 185 level is what I'm looking for on Novavax. It really needs to get up above that and hold, and I'll feel a lot better about where we're at on Novavax. I'm good with it. I think, it took a beating after the news came out, after they sold the news. It took a pretty good beating, but if that's all it's going to do, then we're in good shape. It may just have a tendency to go up from here until the news comes out. Hopefully it trends up until the news comes out instead of trending down, because we'd like to have a nice 200 something before the news of any kind of approvals come out. If we can get up above that 200 range, and then that news comes out, I think we'll be at that 300 before you know it, and that's when I'll definitely be unloading at the 300 range. But my point of sale will be probably starting around 240, if just depending on how it goes and how long we've been holding it. So, but I like Novavax. It's not that I don't think it could go higher than 300 and keep going, and it probably will at some point, but it does have a tendency to pull back, and so I just like to play the dips. And of course, you can miss a lot of run up sometimes, but you can see that that chart has just been up and down, up and down. You've had plenty of opportunity to sell and to get back in. So, but sometimes that changes, and then you'll be out of luck. So, but hey, we've made a lot of money on it, and we're not going to complain if we get shut out this go round after we sell, and good luck to everybody else that's still in it. But I'm retired, and we like to put that money on the sideline. So hope you have a great rest of your week of trading. Again, thank you so much for the subscriptions, and really appreciate that. And we'll be checking in with you sometime later in the week, probably Friday afternoon or something after the market closes. But don't forget to click this button right here and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll check back with you then. But in the meantime, have a great week of trading, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks. Bye.